Next it says, do you have any alternate universe thoughts if the TIE Defenders got the funding, especially seeing how well Vader flies one?
I mean, yeah, he gives like it's like the only time you ever see Vader give like a compliment. Like, hey, this is pretty good. He had some thoughts on how to change it, and it feels like those thoughts were put into effect in season 4 of Rebels. But
what's the TIE that he flies, like in A New Hope?
The TIE Advance.
TIE Advance, that's what it is. Yeah. Because I was trying to think, I'm like, what was that one? Because that one had a different name.
Yeah,
it wasn't just a TIE fighter.
It's more Inquisitor CNR system TIE Advance thing, but the Defenders have like the 3.
The
like
tri-look,
like an interceptor look to them or whatever. I mean, I was hooting and hollering whenever Scarus was, out there in this book that we read. There's that scene where it's like, well, those TIE Defenders. Oh no, they can. They're really good. Okay, Thrawn might make more sense.
Sure. I mean, if those would have came out like that, I feel like that would have caused a lot more problems with interceptors are tricky. TIE fighters already are just usually in numerous numbers, right? That's usually the thing. Is like, I feel like there was so many of them, but they don't really have shields and stuff. They're easy to take out.
I mean, Thrawn does not like the Death Star.
Yeah.
And why? Well, because he's a master strategist, and he would be like, well, the fatal flaw is you got one. So what happens if it breaks? Like, what do you mean? It's not going to break. Look how big it is. It's like the Titanic all over again. Look how big it is. It's not going to break.
What's it going to break about it?
And then it breaks, and they're like, what are we going to do? It's like, we'll build another one. Poor Thrawn, what? You build another one? Just build cool ships.
Did you listen to me?
He's out. That would be a great scene in Ahsoka. He comes back, and he's like, I've been gone from the, from the
What has
galaxy.
happened?
What did they do after the first Death Star? Oh, they built another one. What happened to it? They blew it up.
They didn't get it built all the way either.
They blew it up again.
Like, they destroyed it before they finished the outside. It shot stuff, though.
And then he's just like, all right, now that we've built the second Death Star, can we start working on the Defender program? Well, we've been mining Ilum, and the Emperor has this idea that, it might be this thing called Starkiller Base so that he can use that to threaten all the governor. It's like, okay.
Well, what's that look like? It's a planet turned into a Death Star.
It's a big Death Star.
It's like, what? But it sucks up his sun.
Yeah. That's why he's the heir to the Empire, folks. He has different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I love, too, them kind of talking about that in Mandalorian, right? Like, they're, like, talking like, well, what about Thrawn? What
the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Bring him back, and he'll be helpful. And Gideon's like, eh.
I mean, it implies that there's at least some communication or something. I don't know. Pelion was there,
Yeah.
That's the big thing that is missing from the old novels to this one is no Pelion.
No Pelion?
Yeah. He was a really cool second in command. Fell in love with them.
I do think if they would have went with the TIE Defenders, I don't think the rebellion would have stood up.
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest thing is, like, that thing is just, like, it's so much trickier to take out.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I think helps them is, like, the X-Wings and all that stuff. Like, they can travel through hyperspace. They have their shields.
Mm-hmm.
They can take out the TIE fighters and still survive more hits. So it's the numbers they have. But if those were all faster, tougher, like everything else that the X-Wings and stuff have.
I mean, Hera says, like, if these things get out and they make more, we're done.
Yeah, and she's a great pilot.
She's the best pilot.
Who's better than her? Luke.
Luke and Anakin maybe, but that's because they have cheat codes on.
Yeah, right.
Like they have, like, aimbots and stuff. Like, Hera's doing it legit.
Yeah.
Live on Twitch.
So good. Live on Twitch. All right. Well, thank you, Nexus. I like that. That's a good idea of, like, what would have happened with this.
What if Padme didn't die in Revenge of the Sith?
All right.
What? We must ask the question. What if?
Man.
Anakin still would have. Well, I mean, she only died because of the sadness, right?
Sure.
And being strangled on a lava planet where you can't breathe very well and stuff, and that will probably mess with your and you're pregnant.
You're being pregnant. Delivered twins.
A lot of people die in pregnancy and stuff like that. That happens.
So,
but if she did,
I don't know what. Some people just die from pregnancy.
Yeah.
Let alone having been strangled by a Force user.
Yeah.
Who was angry, and I don't know how tight they were squeezing. Like, what did that do to her?
So. I mean, Anakin still would have become Vader, right? He still would have been put in the suit.
So, whenever he asks, like, "Where's Padme?" and he is told you killed her.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have that then, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she got away. Like, I think that then
Palpatine could still lie.
Does that leave a chance for Padme to save Anakin? Do you think, or do you think
if
it
anybody
has to
could,
be
it
the
would
kids? Does it have to be like Luke?
It doesn't have to be Luke.
You think Padme could have done it? Because Padme couldn't turn him there.
Nope.
But also, I guess Obi-Wan was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan wasn't there when Luke showed up. If Luke would have shown up to talk to Vader and Palpatine, and then all of a sudden, like, a whole Rebel Force showed up.
Yeah.
Like, that might be different than if Padme had just gone to Mustafar and Obi-Wan didn't show up. Would that have changed? Would that have been different? You know, I don't know.
It's interesting because Vader is ultimately saved by love. I mean, Padme is nothing to Anakin if not the love of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So could it happen? Yes. But also, Anakin's big problem when it comes to Padme is that he, like, tries to possess her. Like, she is his, and I will not lose anything of mine ever again.
Sure.
So I think a really good writer wouldn't just be like, oh, hey, oh, fucking Padme's alive. All right, takes it off, you know, like, oh, I'm going to be good again. No, that wouldn't happen, but it would be an interesting Elseworld story.
I mean, what would be interesting, maybe, because I don't know why Palpatine knows, right? Why does Palpatine know Padme's dead?
Because he sucked her life force out.
I guess they have a funeral at one point. Yeah. But had they not, like, is there a chance she goes into hiding like Obi-Wan and Yoda does?
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that you could still be like, well, Anakin died on Mustafar, like Obi-Wan believes. And Palpatine still tells that Padme was killed by Anakin.
Yeah.
But they just don't have the body anymore, maybe. Then you go into the idea of kind of similar to Luke in A New Hope, right? Like, or Ahsoka. Like, you have another one of those kind of things where it's like there is this evil Darth Vader character, and Padme doesn't know who that is. And then you have that story where, like, she has to learn, or Anakin has to, Vader has to find her and, like, see her, and then what occurs there, you know? I don't know.
It changes so much because 100% the twins would have been raised together with Padme,
sure.
right? Yeah. I mean, Luke isn't Luke if he's not the farm boy that always feels like he doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Leia's not Leia if she's not the young maverick that knows there's something greater out there, and it's not this, but she still loves it, you know? So it changes so much, but 100% those kids are raised by Padme.
Like, I could see Padme taking the kids, leading them somewhere to raise them in hiding away from Palpatine and Darth Vader, thinking Anakin has died, he did these terrible things, but I don't know. Like, maybe you turn where it's like now it's not it's not the little farm boy Luke who is able to save Darth Vader and turn him back to Anakin. Maybe it's Padme who does it, and it's a very different story, but it still comes around with family and stuff too, right?
Oh, you know what pissed Anakin off so much, or Vader so much? Padme doesn't die, and neither does Clovis, and Clovis is their stepdad. You know how mad he would be?
I guess yeah. That would really make him mad.
Clovis!
I was wondering like, man, what's going to make him so mad?
He'd be so mad.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that would make him more mad with that, but
oh man.
For some reason I thought you were going to be like she was going to go live with like the Tusken Raiders.
No. No, man. He talked about the sand. She got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very different story having her survive, and it's very hard to kind of predict where it would go.
Sure.
But it's all about family. It is. The Star Wars is a lot about family. Even going to Mandalorian, it is about family/found family.
Yep.
So
generations.
Yeah.
What does an older character have to teach to the younger?
And what do we get out of like do we still get that kind of stuff through the rest of Star Wars that we get, right? Like Rebels, found family, right? Ahsoka can still kind of fit in with that, where it's like we're bringing together like what we have as a family. But can you also do that when you go back to Acolyte, to High Republic? Can you also do that when you go back 25,000 years to, the First Jedi? Can it still be about like family?
100%.
Family?
I mean, it saturates. I mean, all stories, but especially Star Wars stories. I mean, Rey, the whole first movie is about, like, for me, one of the best parts of that movie no one talks about, The Force Awakens, is when, like, Finn just comes around the corner and they meet Rey, and she's like, "You came back?" And no one's ever done that for her,
Sure.
So, like, that's kind of a family thing there.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very predominant.
And even Andor covers a lot of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is taken in by
Marva. Fuck the Empire.
So, no, I'm
How
curious
would you have
to
felt
see.
if they actually dropped an F-bomb? Because apparently it was close.
Really?
He was fighting for it. They were she was gonna say that.
I mean, it's something that Star Wars hasn't had.
Nope.
Like, I remember being surprised back when I'll see you in hell.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It could be.
It would have been too much. I don't think it would have fit, but I would have, in the moment, I would have been like, oh!
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll be too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on how they do it. Sometimes I think it's fine. Other times I'm like, you don't need it.
It would be too much in the same way that, like, the sex stuff in that Jedi book, Jedi Survivor
And
prequel.
you felt like that was too much, right?
I just felt like, I get it. It's too much, though. Yeah.
So...
He don't like that part.
I think it's time that we are wrapping up. We're running out of time here, guys.
Can we get one more question?
Let's do one more question.
One more question, Gonk.
One more question, and then we'll wrap up after that.
I want to do one more.
All right, what's one more question then, Eric?
If Disney did a Star Wars What If style animated show, what alternate stories would you want to see?
Well, we just had a conversation about one with the idea of
I got others.
Padme surviving.
Satine asked Obi-Wan to leave the Jedi Order, and he does, and he becomes her like Mandalorian captain, escort. You know, that'd be cool. You imagine like Obi-Wan who's left the Jedi Order and he's in love with Satine, and she because of that, like, and she doesn't have that kind of maybe she becomes more warlike or something, like, because things have changed. She's no longer a pacifist, and now she's like the Mandalorian Bo-Katan, you know, in a way. And then Obi-Wan's there fighting with what he used to be a Jedi, but now he's a Mandalorian.
Sure,
that would be cool.
And then he survives Order 66 because of that kind of thing. So now he can survive later into things. But I don't know. Maybe who stops Anakin? Maybe Anakin doesn't become Darth Vader then because Obi-Wan couldn't fight him for it. You know,
that'd be a fun one.
Or maybe they never found Anakin because. I don't know. I mean, there's more Qui-Gon that found Anakin, so he would probably just have a different Padawan. But maybe that Padawan didn't take Anakin Skywalker as his Padawan and listen to the Jedi orders. Then you never got him either.
What if Qui-Gon didn't die?
What if Qui-Gon didn't die? I think is a very interesting one that I would love to see kind of like thought through, because that was, Dave Filoni talked about that with the galleries, I think it was.
Disney Gallery, which I haven't seen the new one for
Mandalorian.
They put out a new one.
I saw one that had like Katie Sackhoff on it.
I gotta
was
watch
like,
it.
I haven't seen that.
I might watch that tonight. Just remembered it just now.
Just remembered it. But I think that would be an interesting story to see, like, where does Anakin end up with Qui-Gon as his master?
Yeah,
and I love the idea of seeing that. What if Jar Jar was a Sith? I know that people have had that
big doo-doo this time.
Could you imagine, like, you have him in Episode 1 and he's been traveling along with you the whole time, but he has been the Sith that Palpatine sent, not Darth Maul?
He just like stabs Palpatine in the back, puppet. I'd watch that.
Like, that could be really fun. I like that idea too.
Yeah. Star Wars did Visionaries back in the day too, which was just like alternate versions, or
that's like a comic, right?
Yeah, it's a comic. Like they had What If Vader didn't die when he turned?
Yeah.
And he comes out and he's a Jedi again. He has a white Vader suit, a blue saber.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
White and blue.
There's a lot of cool What If stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should just come to us and we'll write that show.
We'll write the What If show.
We'll write the What If show.
Just do like the Marvel What If, and it just you spend like 20, 30 minutes just.
Yep.
Here's a general idea of what that would be like, and then we'll move on to another one. But
we can do like really dumb, subtle ones too. Like, what if Anakin went left instead? Like, what if Anakin didn't go after Dooku and stayed with Obi-Wan and they beat him?
Yeah.
We can do real silly ones.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
What if Padme didn't fall off the ship?
Yeah. Right.
Like, what would have happened then? Would she have died to Dooku? I don't know. So. Yeah, I think there's a ton of really cool what ifs ones, but I love the Qui-Gon didn't die one.
Yeah.